It is 4 a.m. Tuesday morning. Got about 5 hours of sleep. Um, Probably gonna try and sleep after. I hope. Our inner child, what does it make us do? How does it make us react? How does it make us search out for all the things that we think we need and want? I think what it makes us do is pull us towards certain people. It pushes us away from certain people. It brings us into certain lines of work, maybe, if you have that much choice. It leads us to search out certain types of home lives, if that makes sense. It determines our standards for everything, what we eat, who we associate with. And I think most of the time this all happens subconsciously where you're not even realizing why this choice is being made or happening for you, and it feels like you need to go with that choice. It just is happening, so we continue doing it and we don't really push back on it too much. If someone is, I think, maybe emotionally neglected as a child, from the parent, it's the idea of primary caregiver kind of determines what direction you go on in life. I'd say half nature, half nurture, but definitely plays a huge role. If you felt neglected growing up, I think it's definitely likely that you will start to search out people who potentially give you validation and engage with you deeply. Now, if you have overbearing parents or an overbearing caregiver, you probably care less about maybe what other people think. You don't need as much external validation because you received so much as a kid. You realize the value. You didn't see as much value in it. Now, there very well might be a lot of value in it, but to you there isn't. And that reality, that's the only reality that really matters. And it just makes me think, how much differently would we live if we knew why we were doing the things we do? Moving towards the people we move towards, sticking with the ones that ultimately, don't end up actually being healthy for us, and pushing the ones away that do. All because of that feeling you get, I've heard people in the past call it the gut, I just get a feeling. So should you move away from this inner child, or should you embrace it, learn and understand it, and accept it? It definitely isn't a clear answer on which of those. It's definitely a more nuanced middle ground position there. You have to keep the parts that serve your life, and you have to let go of the parts that hinder your life. If this inner child keeps on pushing you away from good people that you realize in hindsight, why did I screw that up? Why did I self-sabotage? And there's certain behaviors like distancing that happen after your nervous system gets regulated and you understand what the fuck's going on. Understanding why those habits or actions keep occurring at certain points can definitely allow you to keep the right people, because you no longer need to push those people away. They're not a danger to you. Same thing, if you're too trusting, then you probably need to be a bit more discerning with the company you keep and not trust as much, because the wrong people will take advantage of that, and the right people won't have space in your life in order to actually be there and be appreciated. We stick in so many comfortable known patterns that make us think we're doing what we're just supposed to do. It's just the similar idea of last video I shared. Is just like you need to keep on pushing yourself into those uncomfortable positions to better understand yourself, understand why you're doing the things you're doing, and see in hindsight after the things have happened, which kind of sucks sometimes. Sometimes it sucks. You might lose someone, lose something, lose a friendship, a family relationship, a real relationship, and only realize why in hindsight. But it needs to be understood so that you don't make that mistake again in the future. You need to stop your own unhealthy patterns and habits in order to grow. And again, that all comes through the uncomfortable self-reflection of where you fucked up. And I know we hate taking accountability. Maybe not hate, maybe sometimes it's just really fucking hard to take accountability for certain actions we've made. And it's easier just to say, oh, this person fucked it up, so I don't even need to worry about that. I could just move on with my life, and it's not really for me to worry about. And I think in a lot of cases that's true, but there's always opportunity to learn, even when the other person was more at fault than you. You were both still at fault. You still chose to engage in that entanglement, I guess. And you chose your own actions within those occurrences that led to that negative outcome. It seems you learn way more through the negative things that have happened in your life than the positive, because the positive just say, hey, I'm doing the right thing, so I'm just gonna keep on doing this thing that feels right to me. And that right feeling is comfortability, and that right feeling just keeps you in the same spot where it's so much harder to reflect, because there's nothing negative to reflect on. But maybe that's kind of what we're aiming for. We're trying to find those people we don't feel like we fuck up around all the time, that we don't need to walk on eggshells for, that we can be ourselves with. And sometimes I think we tell ourselves that we have those people, when in reality we've just worn the mask so long with them. The mask we present to the world, to different groups, to different people, whether it be our family, our friends, because everyone has different friend groups. You have your work friend group, your old high school friend group, like you have so many different people you wear a different mask with. You think that's who you actually are because it's been on so long. And I'm still not even sure yet how to fully take off that mask. Even with the people you think your most authentic self with, where your inner child can feel at peace and not in a heightened state of awareness to possible negative reactions to your actions. We're just all aiming to soothe a child who we don't feel was properly soothed when we were children. And we just look for that in other people. I wish we didn't need to try and find these missing pieces of ourselves in others, or these broken pieces. I don't think it's our fault that these pieces get lost, broken, or never found. They just weren't put on the board for us to place. And sometimes we need to leave the board, walk around our house a bit, to find those pieces that, we're looking for in other people that are actually there for us too. They just weren't with the initial set of pieces we were given. Our inner child, I think, just wants to be loved and accepted for who they are now. But in doing so and looking for that, we start neglecting our growth that pushes people away. All this to say, pick the parts of yourself you really like, hold on to them, and put more emphasis on them in your life. And the old parts of our inner child that seem to be hurting us more, figure out why they keep hurting us, heal or take steps. You're never fully healed, but take steps in order to understand why those parts that keep hurting us keep coming up, and slowly integrate them into a healthier form of coping or dealing with these stressful situations. And because that's when our inner child comes out the most. Stress comes up, and our inner child uses its initial defenses it learned through coping when we were young to pick a direction at any point in time, to be able to cope with that, because we've previously coped with that way of dealing with these situations in the past. Lastly, show your inner child, I think, to the people you care about and you want to care about. The people who protect it, amplify the good parts of the inner child that you love, and don't blame you for the parts that sometimes hurt people, the ones who can understand those perspectives. You want to filter for those people as best you can, and stay away from the ones who can't understand others' perspectives. Okay, that's it.